Hello students, today in your algebra class you're going to be working on variables and reviewing the order of operations. So at the end of this lesson you will be able to identify variables and order of operations. So below is a translation table which I'd like for you to copy. Now what you'll notice here is I have the heading for each part of this table is English, Math, and the symbol itself. So what that means is that as we go through word problems and you see the words more than or the sum of, that's referring to addition, which obviously is the plus sign in math. In English, we have less than or minus, which is subtraction, or the minus sign. Product or multiplied by is multiplication. Quotient or divided by is division. And another important one that is always overlooked is or is equal to. That refers to, obviously, equals, but a lot of times people forget is also means equal. So go ahead and copy this down, please. So we're going to work on writing an algebraic expression. Now the way that we write an algebraic expression is by reading the words themselves and using that translation table that we included on the last page. So when we have something like 4 less than x, that means we have some number x, but we have 4 less than that. So that's 4 minus x. Now it's important to note, especially on this one, that 4 less than x is a comparison. So rather than writing 4 minus x, which is what a lot of you would have written, which obviously is wrong, we're going to write it as x minus 4 because, again, we're comparing. For number 2, it says the sum of 13 and twice a number. So remember, using our translation table, sum of means the answer to an addition problem. So really, we're adding up 13 and twice a number, so 2 times a number, and unfortunately, we don't know what that other number is. So we're going to go ahead and assign a variable. So for those of you who forgot, a variable is a letter or symbol that represents a number. To be a little bit more scientific, a variable also is one item or object that can affect the result of something that we're doing. So in science, when we change a variable, it means we're changing one of the things that we're doing in the hopes of getting a better result. So our last example, number 3, is the perimeter of A equals 4 times the length of a side. So let's change this question up a little bit. The perimeter of a square equals 4 times the length of a side. Now, because this is a longer sentence, we're going to do some underlining just to see if we can make this easier. So it says perimeter of a square, and it says equals 4 times the length. So translating this, perimeter of a square equals 4 times the length of a side. And that's how we would write our algebraic expression. So for the next example, it says given the table, define a variable and write an algebraic expression. So basically we're taking this table here and we're generalizing it so that it's easier to digest. Now you'll see that for one tape the cost is $8.50. For 2 tapes the cost is $17. So quick check, what are we actually doing from 1 tape to 2 tapes? And if you broke down 17, hopefully you would have realized that it's 2 times $8.50, which you'll notice 2 is the number of tapes that we have, and $8.50 is our cost for 1 tape. So for 3, it'd be 3 times $8.50. And obviously 4 tapes would be 4 times $8.50. So the last question is, what if we have X number of tapes? So if we have X number of tapes, why don't we just kind of follow the same thing we've been doing, which is take the number of tapes and multiply that by 850, and then we'd be done. So hopefully you understood how we got this expression. If not, you might want to rewind the video, or we can discuss it in class. Now, order of operations is something you guys have done several times in the past, and it should, if you remember correctly, mean parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, and addition, subtraction. But what you'll notice is, oftentimes in the past, you've had teachers that have written it, like I am right now, where everything is going downwards. Unfortunately, that's not the way we're doing it because it's wrong. It kind of confuses people because they think multiplication goes over division. And what you'll notice here is when I simplified this, multiplication and division were side by side, which means that they have equal weight. So if you see both of them, you're going to go from left to right. So whichever one you see first on the left, that's the one you're going to do first. And for addition, subtraction, same thing. So let's practice a couple. So for problem number 1, it says 21 plus 49 divided by 7 plus 1. Now, to make this easier, we're going to use PEMDAS as our checklist. So for number 1, do we see any parentheses? No, so we're done. Exponents? No, we're done. Multiplication or division? Yeah, we see division right here. So that's what we're going to do before moving on. So we have 21 plus, and notice how we just brought the 21 plus down. 49 divided by 7 is 7, and we're going to bring down the 1. So we're done with multiplication or division. Now it's addition or subtraction. So notice we have addition twice. So now we're going to go from left to right. So this is going to be 21 plus 7 is 28, plus 1, and last but not least, and finally, 28 plus 1 is 29. Now remember, if you do want full credit on all of your notes, you do need to be showing your work. So for problem number 2, it's the same idea, so let's clear up our checklist. So parentheses, do we have parentheses? Yes. So notice how we have 2 sets of parentheses, so we'll go with the most inside one first, not the brackets. So we have our brackets, and we have 3, and then we have 7 plus 4. So 7 plus 4 is 11, minus 2, and then we had our times 6 on the outside. So we still have parentheses, so we have to do that stuff on the inside as well. So 3 times 11 is 33 minus 2, and we still had our times 6 on the inside. We still have our parentheses, so 33 minus 2 is 31 times 6. Notice how we have no more parentheses, we have no more exponents. We do have multiplication or division, so let's go ahead and do that. So 31 times 6 is 186. And we're done with multiplication division, and we actually have no addition or subtraction now, so done. So last 2, we're going to do those as well. So parentheses, yes, we have them. So in our parentheses, we have 10 squared, which is 100, minus 4 times 8, divided by 8 plus 9, which is another set of parentheses, so that's 17. So we still have parentheses, so we have 100 minus 4 times 8. So you'll notice we have subtraction and multiplication. So looking at our table, we have no more exponents, but multiplication division goes next. So that's what we're going to work on. That gives us 100 minus 32 divided by 17. So 100 minus 32 is 68 divided by 17. And 68 divided by 17 is 4. And that's it. Number 4 looks a little bit tricky, but it's really not hard at all. What we're going to do here is we're going to do some basic substitution. So we have 2b divided by c plus 3a. Now you'll notice right next to the 4, they tell us what a, b, and c are equal to. It says b is equal to 12, so we're going to replace that. And we have divided by c. C is 2 plus 3 times a, and a in this case is 5. So we're going to go through PEMDAS again. We have some parentheses, but that's because it's multiplication. We have no exponents, and then we have multiplication and division. So again, reading from left to right, we have 2 times 12, which is 24. And then it says divided by 2 plus 3 times 5. So notice again, we have division here, and we have multiplication here. So hopefully you're paying attention, and because it says from left to right, we're going to do the division first. So 24 divided by 2 is 24, or is 12, plus 3 times 5. That gives us 12 plus 15, and 12 plus 15 is 27.